Imagine a world in which you are not bound by any physical or mental boundaries, where you are the master of your own destiny, and where the secrets of the universe unfold to you like a blossoming flower. This is not a distant utopia. It is a state of being that is accessible to all of us. It is called spiritual awakening, a transformative journey that transcends the boundaries of our physical body and ego. Spiritual awakening is a profound self-knowledge, an understanding of yourself and your connection to the universe. It is like a door that, once opened, reveals a completely new perspective on reality. A perspective that has always existed, but was previously invisible. As the great Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung once said, "Those who look outwards are dreaming. Those who look inwards awaken." The catalyst: dissatisfaction. Have you ever experienced a persistent feeling of dissatisfaction? A lingering feeling that, despite all that you have achieved, something is still missing. This universal feeling of dissatisfaction is not an anomaly. It's a common human experience that resonates deep within us. It's like a jigsaw puzzle with one crucial piece missing. You have the whole picture, yet it feels inexplicably incomplete and leaves you wanting more. This dissatisfaction often manifests itself in different forms. A high-level job that leaves you unfulfilled, even though you've always wanted it. A perfect relationship that still fails to satisfy your soul. A luxurious lifestyle that still doesn't bring you the joy and fulfillment you expected. And it is this persistent, gnawing feeling that leads you to ask questions, to search for something beyond the banal, materialistic existence that surrounds you. Think of the story of Siddhartha Gautama, who lived in abundance and yet was dissatisfied, and left his palace to find the truth. Or think of Eckhart Tolle, who experienced the deepest despair before an inner transformation led him to spiritual enlightenment. These stories are proof that dissatisfaction can serve as a trigger for spiritual awakening. It pushes us out of our comfort zone and drives us to search for deeper meaning. It is the spark that ignites the fire of spiritual awakening, a path to a more conscious, enlightened existence. As the Persian poet Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Dissatisfaction is this wound, the birthplace of our spiritual journey. The transition from a state of dissatisfaction to spiritual awakening is characterized by a phase of questioning and searching. This phase arises from the realization that the tangible aspects of life, wealth, status, and material possessions, do not fulfill the deeper longing within us. The echo of your inner voice urges you to ask essential questions. What is my purpose? What are my true values? Is there a deeper meaning to life? These are not mere intellectual questions, but soul-deep impulses that lead you on the path to spiritual enlightenment. As you begin to question and reflect, you start to see the world from a refreshingly new perspective. Materialism, which once seemed like the measure of all things, gradually loses its grip and fades away. The glitter of wealth and fame begins to fade, giving way to a deep desire for a greater understanding of life. This change is comparable to looking beneath the surface of the ocean instead of being satisfied with its superficial beauty. Just as the true beauty of the sea lies in its depths, the essence of life lies beyond material possessions, waiting to be discovered and welcomed with open arms. The shift from materialism to the search for deeper meaning is an essential part of spiritual awakening. It is an inner journey in which you rediscover yourself and reconnect with basic human virtues such as compassion, love, and humility. As the 14th Dalai Lama wisely said, "The goal is not to be better than another person, but to be better than your former self." This change does not mean that you have to give up all material possessions. Rather, it is about recognizing their transient nature and striving for something deeper, more lasting and fulfilling, the true essence of life. By questioning and seeking, you embark on a path that leads to an enlightened consciousness, to a state of being in which the superficiality of life fades and the true essence of existence unfolds. Enlightenment, the awakening. Enlightenment, or spiritual awakening, is a profoundly transformative process that expands your consciousness and fundamentally changes your perception of reality. Imagine you are in a dimly lit room. Gradually, the light becomes brighter. At first, you see only outlines, then a kaleidoscope of colors, and finally, you perceive everything around you with crystal clarity. This image beautifully describes the profound, awe-inspiring journey of spiritual awakening. The deeper you immerse yourself in this process, the more your perceptions shift. You begin to see beyond the tangible, material, and ephemeral. You recognize the universality of the human experience, the interconnectedness of all beings, and the cyclical nature of life. The matrix of your reality changes fundamentally, revealing to you the subtleties that you have overlooked in your previous pursuit of possessions and success. During this transformative journey, you fully embrace spiritual values that resonate in deep harmony with the very nature of reality. As Buddha once said, 3 things cannot be hidden for long: the radiant sun, the still moon, and the eternal truth. As your consciousness awakens, you begin to recognize and embody this truth in the form of boundless love, unwavering compassion, deep gratitude, and sincere humility. These values become your inner beacon and show you the way to a reality that is perfectly balanced, peaceful, and in harmony with the cosmic rhythm. Awakening does not mean turning away from the world, but understanding it in an expanded and deeper sense. It means realizing that you are not a separate being fighting against the world, but an integral part of the cosmos, carried by the flow of life. Resistance and inner turmoil. As you embark on the path of spiritual awakening, it is not uncommon to face your deepest fears, doubts, and insecurities. These seemingly daunting challenges are an essential part of the process, not obstacles, but invitations to transformation. Imagine the image of a goldsmith refining gold. It must first be exposed to intense fire for its true beauty to become visible. It is the same with people. Only when you face your fears and insecurities can a purifying transformation take place. Resistance, as negative as it is often perceived, also plays a decisive role in your inner growth. It is like a seed that pushes itself against the earth in order to finally emerge into the light as a resilient plant. This friction is an indispensable part of the growth process. It makes you stronger, more resilient. Instead of being afraid of resistance, you should see it as an opportunity to mature, as an invitation to unfold your potential. Every moment of inner struggle brings you a little closer to awakening. As the wise Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." In the midst of inner turmoil lie the deepest possibilities for growth and enlightenment. The abyss, decision point. On your path of spiritual awakening, sooner or later you will come to a point where you seem to stand before an abyss. It symbolizes the unknown, a vast expanse of uncertainty that can be both intimidating and unsettling. You have to make a decision here. Do you let go of the old certainties and ways of thinking that no longer serve you? Are you ready to let go of the familiar and dive into uncharted waters? As you enter this uncharted territory, you may wonder what lies beyond the boundaries of your current world. The answer, as scary as it may seem, is simple: infinite possibilities. This decision, is a conscious act of letting go. You relinquish control, detach yourself from the safe haven of certainty, and allow the winds of spiritual growth to guide you. You realize you are not always the helmsman of your life. Sometimes you are the passenger who allows the current of existence to carry you in new, unexpected directions. In this unknown space, you begin to unlearn old patterns of thought and behavior. You open yourself up to new perspectives, to experiences that promote growth and insight. Loneliness often accompanies you on this journey into the unknown. But instead of perceiving it as isolation, recognize it as a time of deep self-discovery. In the silence, you can find your innermost truths, those that lay hidden in the noise of everyday life. It is not an escape from the world, but an immersion into your inner world, into your own universe. Remember, the maze of the unknown is not a prison, but a path that leads you to true knowledge. As the philosopher Joseph Campbell said, "By descending into the abyss, we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble lies your treasure." The abyss is not a place of fear, but a source of self-discovery and rebirth. Rebirth and authenticity. The process of awakening often leads you to confront your shadow, those parts of your psyche that you have ignored, repressed, or rejected. As Carl Jung so aptly put it, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by becoming aware of darkness. Facing your shadow and integrating it is challenging, but essential for your spiritual path. It takes great courage to face the hidden aspects of yourself, your fears, insecurities, and old hurts, and accept them as integral parts of your identity. This process can be painful and uncomfortable, but it is through embracing your darkness that you can truly embrace and radiate your inner light. Rebirth in a spiritual context does not mean discarding your old self, but rather uncovering your true essence and living it fully. It is like the phoenix rising anew from its own ashes, reborn with a clearer, more authentic sense of self. This new identity is not shaped by societal norms or expectations, but springs from your deepest beliefs, feelings, and values. Living your truth is the highest expression of your authenticity. It means that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony with your innermost being. This is invaluable, because only when you live your truth can you experience real fulfillment and meaning. Or as Shakespeare wrote in Hamlet, "This above all, be true to yourself." By living your authentic self, you not only pave the way for your own enlightenment, but also inspire others to find their own path. Unity, the connection. When you have embraced your true self and begin to live your truth, you experience a new dimension, the feeling of oneness. You realize that you are not an isolated being, but an inseparable part of a great cosmic fabric. This is the realization of unity, the awareness that all existence is interconnected. Just as individual notes blend together to form a symphony, every part of the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, contributes to the harmonious whole. This realization brings you a deep sense of belonging. You know that you are never really alone. You are not a mere observer. You are a co-creator in the dance of life. Your thoughts, actions, and feelings have an effect beyond yourself and influence the world while being influenced by it at the same time. With this awareness of interconnectedness comes the ability to love unconditionally. You begin to realize that separateness is an illusion, that a common source pulsates beneath the surface of individual identities. This insight changes your view of the world. You judge less, you understand more. You love not despite the differences, but precisely because of the realization that we are all one at the core. This transformative understanding of unity brings with it a deep peace. You are not a lost person in search of validation. You are a conscious part of a living universe that expresses itself through you. As the philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are not human beings with spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings with human experience." In a state of oneness, you feel at home in the universe. Your heart beats to the rhythm of creation. Your spirit dances in tune with the cosmic melody of love and connectedness. Synchronicities in the flow of life. On your journey of spiritual awakening, you will increasingly come across signs and meaningful coincidences, so-called synchronicities. These events seem to transcend coincidence and act as if the universe is speaking directly to you. It confirms your path, gently guides you onwards, and gives you orientation. Such synchronicities can manifest as recurring numbers, special encounters, or symbolic signs, each with a unique message, specifically tailored to your path. These phenomena are not random occurrences, but an expression of the loving guidance of the universe. They show you are on the right path. You are in harmony with your higher self. They remind you to trust the flow of life, to surrender to the wisdom and benevolent intention of the cosmos. The deeper you develop this trust, the more effortlessly you flow with the rhythm of life. You give up the urge to control and surrender to the guidance of the universe. An essential aspect of flowing with life is also listening to your intuition. Your intuition is like an inner compass. It works beyond the rational mind and vibrates at the frequency of truth. If you learn to listen to it, you can walk your path with grace and confidence, following the subtle signs and quiet impulses that lead you to your destination, to a conscious, enlightened being. Every synchronicity, every intuitive impulse is like a verse in the universal song of life, an invitation to dance in harmony with the divine melody. Authentic self-expression. The path to enlightened consciousness requires an uncompromising commitment to truth, the courageous decision to shed all the social masks you have adopted in order to belong. These masks are often nothing more than roles you play in order to gain recognition, acceptance, and love. But all too often, they stifle your true self and make you forget who you really are. Imagine living your life according to your own standards, free from the fear of rejection, independent of societal expectations. Wouldn't that be liberating? This is what authentic self-expression is all about. Layer by layer, you shed everything that doesn't belong to you until you stand in your true, radiant self. This path requires courage. It means leaving your comfort zone and venturing into the unknown. But isn't that exactly what it takes to unleash your full potential? The rewards are great: true freedom, deep fulfillment, and a life lived in all its depth and beauty. Authenticity is worth more than any external recognition. It is the foundation of true relationships, the key to meaning and purpose. When you are authentic, you not only honor your own uniqueness, you also inspire others to do the same. Authenticity breathes life into your encounters. It lets heart speak to heart. And isn't that the kind of connection we all long for? Remember, the universe makes no mistakes. You are meant exactly as you are, with all your gifts, your depth, your light. So why hide it? Why not celebrate what makes you unique? It's time to step into the greatness of your true self and let your soul shine. Only then can you harmonize with the cosmic song and dance to the rhythm of your authentic being. Elevation of consciousness. The journey of spiritual awakening calls you to elevate your consciousness, to rise above the mundane and experience life in its deepest, truest dimension. This elevation does not happen overnight. It is a gradual ascent, an expansion of your inner horizon. The ordinary mind is trapped in the world of the physical. It sees through a lens that is limited by time, space, and sensory impressions. But what if you could go beyond these boundaries? What if you had access to a limitless reservoir of wisdom that resides within you? This is the sphere of your higher self, an aspect of you that remains untouched by the noise of life. It is the part of you that radiates peace, wisdom, and unconditional love. Your higher self is your inner compass. It guides you through the chaos, gives you clarity in moments of confusion, and shows you your true path. As your awareness grows, you realize that you are not separate from life. You see the connections, feel that every thought, every action, every feeling makes waves in the fabric of the universe. This realization brings compassion, responsibility, and a deep sense of oneness with all that is. The elevation of consciousness is not a theory, it is a lived experience. It changes your self-image and your view of the world. You begin to let go of old limiting thought patterns and open up to a new perspective, one that recognizes your existence as wonderful, meaningful, and full of possibilities. Co-creation with the universe. Once you have awakened, you enter a new reality. You realize you are not an isolated being. You are a co-creator with the universe. This stage is characterized by a deep understanding of the power of intention and manifestation. You may have heard the phrase, "Energy follows attention." This is exactly the core of manifestation. Your thoughts, nourished by your intention, have creative power. When you direct your mental energy towards a clear goal, you set forces in motion that create this reality. Think of the Pygmalion effect, the psychological phenomenon where high expectations lead to better results. Your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality. They act like a sculptor carving the statue out of the stone. You shape the possibilities of the universe with your thoughts. But co-creation does not mean that you simply wish and wait. It is about taking action with your intentions and at the same time leaving the outcome to the flow of life. It's like sailing. You can't control the wind, but you can set the sails. So while you can't direct all circumstances, you can influence the direction of your life. The universe is not an external mechanism. It is a mirror of your inner state. Low vibrations such as fear and doubt block manifestation, while high vibrations such as love and gratitude accelerate it. As Albert Einstein said, everything is energy. Match your frequency to the reality you want, and you will get it. Co-creation is consciously dancing with the divine, an interplay of intention, action, and surrender. When you realize this, you go from being a spectator to a co-creator of your life. You step into your power, use your inner potential, and create a life full of meaning, abundance, and joy. Unconditional love and compassion. Unconditional love is the foundation of the universe, the inexhaustible source from which all life springs. It is the sustaining force that permeates every atom, every galaxy, every being. It is the bond that connects everything and holds together the cosmic dance of existence. Spiritual awakening means discovering this source within yourself. As the spiritual teacher Nhat Hanh said, "The source of love is deep within us. We can help others experience much happiness with a word, an action, or a thought." From this love comes compassion, the ability to feel the pain of others as your own. Compassion dissolves the illusion of separation. It leads you to forgiveness, even towards those who have hurt you. Because forgiveness frees you from the burden of resentment and allows you to move on in peace. And ultimately, acceptance grows from this. the understanding that each person is on their own journey, with their own trials, lessons, and transformations. Acceptance means embracing life as a whole, light and shadow, joy and pain, knowing that each experience is a stepping stone on the path to enlightenment. When you live with love, compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance, you tune into the highest frequency of the universe. You transform not only your own life, but also the world around you. As we now look back on the journey of spiritual awakening, let us do so with humility and gratitude. This path is not a race, but a journey of discovery. Humility reminds you that there is always more to learn and grow. Gratitude anchors you in the present moment. It allows you to recognize the beauty of the now and see each experience as a valuable teacher. Remember, the path to enlightened consciousness is not a solitary journey. You are part of a community of seekers, each on their own path. Join the exchange, share your experiences, ask questions, learn from others, and enrich this common field of knowledge and wisdom. As Ram Dass said, "We are all just going home together." This is your invitation to walk the path of spiritual awakening. Let's walk each other home with humility, gratitude, and an open heart. Think for a moment about what you take away from these words and how you can integrate them into your own journey. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to an awakened consciousness. Start right where you are now. Use what you have. Do what you can. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today